fuzzy and warm. Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. Welcome to today's Ask Michael Anything. I'm Michael, the host of Inspire Nation. We are in for a very exciting ride tonight. What do I mean by that? And I'm noticing how informally I'm dressed here this evening. What I mean is I just got back from the dentist about a good hour and a half ago from what was supposed to be a tooth extraction, and I'll get to that in a little bit. And this is actually really my first time speaking since I was numbed up. So this should be an interesting experience. We'll see if I can make it the distance or not. Jessica is shifting the camera. I'm not sure why, but she wants to get the flowers in. I see. So I'm going to scoot over because I like being centered. With that said, we could use your help. Please come on over this evening to inspirenationshow.com and take the survey. We want to know, you're making me nervous, Pookie. Is there something in the screen? We want to know what you want to see on the show. So if you can take the survey, that'll help us out tremendously. That'll help us to be able to give you the content that you want. I'm a little bit spacey here this evening, so please bear with me. All right. With that said, let's dive into making a right decision. So I want to talk about the tooth event that took place here tonight or this afternoon. I have a cracked tooth. It has mercury on it. They weren't able to do much with it. There's no way to save it because of the mercury. So the decision, that's what we're getting to, was made that we have to remove the tooth. And so today we went in to get this tooth removed, and they numbed up my mouth and numbed it up again and numbed it up again until they had the maximum amount of numbing agent, which is wearing off now and is actually quite an excruciating pain. And what they found was that I have what's called a fast metabolism, and they couldn't numb up my mouth enough to get the tooth out. So they gave me 3 choices there on the spot, which really comes to tonight's show. One was, do we continue despite what was going to turn out to be grisly pain? 2, there was some modified procedure that they wanted to do that now that I was under anesthetic at the time, I can't recall exactly what. And 3, do I want to come back at a later time for more of a sedative and have several things taken at once? That felt right. It felt really, really good. And I checked in with my body, and the body's like, hello, we will take option C. And so I went with that, and I feel very, very confident about my decision. So the question for tonight is, how do you know if a decision is right? First and foremost, unless it's truly an emergency, move slowly. Move slowly. Never make a decision in the heat of the moment, if at all possible. Now, I'm what's called the slow shopper. If I see something I really, really like, I will try it on, check it out, do what I need to do, and say, if I want to come back tomorrow, now this is if there's not a big drive involved, then and only then I will get it because my gut, my instinct is telling me to. If not, I will pause, because we need to be able to discern what's coming from the heart and what's just kind of an initial burst of excitement. Kind of intuition versus excitement is a better way to put that. And we need to be able to discern between the two, which really gets to the heart of the matter. First, we move slowly. 2, realize decision-making is a skill. Just like anything else, the more you practice, the better you get at it. Now, it's crazy. As a little child, we know exactly what we want. Mama, Dada, give me this, give me that. It's kind of a gimme, gimme, gimme in a sense, but we know exactly what we're looking for. However, within a few years, we realize that if we ask for this, we might be scolded. We ask for that, we might be judged. And we start to default to other people's decision-making ability so we don't get in trouble, so we don't do things wrong, so that we go along with the tribe. Because if you don't go along with the tribe, if you get ostracized from a biological point of view, if you're kicked out of the tribe, that means death. So we very quickly learn at an early age, our own decisions are not the best. Doesn't mean that we don't make decisions. It means there's usually a consequence for it. And we really learn the hard way not to trust our instinct, that we can really get in trouble for it. So what does that mean? It means we get to strengthen these muscles again, starting with small decisions, working our way to bigger decisions. Trust ourselves no matter what. Now, I'm going to teach you muscle testing in just a few minutes. And muscle testing for Jessica and myself was the perfect example of this, because when we learned this mechanism of getting wisdom from the body, what we did is we made small decisions and we accepted them. Sort of like, do you go with can A or can B in the store? Well, muscle testing says we go with B. All right, we'll do that. Then do you go with this bigger decision, A or B? Well, muscle testing says go with A. All right, we'll trust that. The more that you trust your intuition, the stronger it gets. Of course, this brings up point number 3. And this one sounds crazy because the topic is how to make a right decision. I'm going to let you in on a secret. There are no right decisions, or more to the point, there are no wrong decisions. Every decision helps us forward in life. Every decision is here to teach us something. Now, of course, we want to start with smaller decisions rather than bigger ones, because the lessons of choosing A versus B, one being the easy path, one being the difficult path, can be quite significant. But it means you don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to get down on yourself. You can be okay with whatever decision you make. The more that you learn how to be okay with the decisions, the easier it becomes to make decisions and the less you're locked down. This brings us back to a topic we talked about last week and I think the week before, which is kind of an aside, but the more you learn to love yourself up, and I'm kind of holding myself here, the more that you learn to love up that inner child, that inner Michael, for example, that inner Jessica, the more that you begin to love him or her up, the more that you begin to trust yourselves. And that may actually be a better name for tonight's topic, is how to trust the decisions that you make. Because we all come into an adulthood with a suspect state of trust in ourselves, to say the least. And we really get to cultivate that or rediscover that. So, fourth, and this is such a key lesson, key point here. Unless you truly need more, quote, information, do not ask others. Don't give away your power. Let me repeat that. Do not give away your power. You get to work on your own decision. I know, for example, that for many years, actually for a better part of 2 decades, if I was to ask my folks for their opinion, and I'm going, oh, I'm going this direction in life, I'm going this job, I'm going this whatever, and I'm like, I'm dead set, I'm sure of my decision, and then I go and talk with my parents, I would be like afterwards, I can't believe I even thought of going that direction. How could I be more wrong? In other words, they get into your psyche, they know you better than you, and can flip you upside down and backwards because they're not you. And that's okay. We can love them very much. But our friends, our family, our closest loved ones cannot know what's in our hearts, what's our intuitive hit. And so they're giving us a head-based response. And not only are head-based responses off because the heart gets to drive the ship, but now you're looking 2 degrees removed because it's not only not your head, it's their head, which then messes with your head and muddles the whole thing up. So again, unless you need information, I put that in quotes, you need specific details. You need to talk with a salesman about something that you don't know of, about a gadget, a gizmo, a car, whatever it is. Other than that, you have to go with your own intuition as to which direction to go. On the intuition side of things, I talk about this almost each and every week. Let's get you a journaling technique so you can hear from your inside. I'm biased. I love automatic writing. It has truly transformed Jessica in my life. There's also Julia Cameron, who has morning pages, and there are many more techniques as well. The key, every morning, start writing to and from and through yourself. The more that you write, the more that you get in touch with your intuition and learn how to trust yourself and cultivate an inner wisdom. For any big decision, I am going to go and check in automatic writing and say, is this a good decision? What can I learn from it? What do I need to know? Can I step forward? 6, ask for a sign from your body, or ask, how does this make me feel? You can start off, Jessica and I did, started off in the grocery store, closed our eyes. She would give me can A. I would hold it up to my heart, or to my belly for that matter, and see how it feels. Give it back. She'd give me can B. She wouldn't tell me which is which. And I would hold it to my body again and see how it makes me feel. Body knows best. It has the intuition. It has the ability to discern. Do realize, though, fear and excitement are exceptionally close emotions. And in fact, they get muddied up as well when we're a child. I like to say fear is excitement without action. Once we start to put things in motion, that fear turns back into excitement. What does this mean? Don't trust fear. Dig layers deep. Peel away the layers of the onion. Ask your body, what does this mean? Go into journaling, automatic writing, morning pages, and ask, what does this fear mean? And you can literally sit with the fear, sit in a chair and say, where do I feel this fear? Oh, I feel it in my belly. Well, what am I feeling in my belly? Oh, I'm feeling a tightness or a bloating or a kick in the belly. And then keep asking, well, what does that kick mean? What is it trying to tell me? The more that you practice this, the more clearly you get the messages from your body. 7, and this is going way, way down the woo-woo rabbit hole, which I put in quotes because we're spiritual beings having a human existence. Carl Jung said, this world is the dream world. The dream world is the real world. What does this mean? There's more going on in this reality than you could ever imagine. So what this means is ask for signs or symbols to give you guidance. So a great example of this is before Jessica and I moved into this beautiful home. We were living on Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Jessica had came out here. She had visited this home. She had driven past some beautiful horse properties, horse ranches, and horses to get up to this house. And she fell in love with it. And she asked me, should we move in here? And she was getting the intuitive hit. It's the place to go. My head was saying, what about internet? Are we going to be too far away? This, that, the other thing. And I said, let me put it out there. Let me ask the universe for guidance on this one. And I went for a bike ride. And about halfway through the bike ride, I said, all right, universe, I need a clear sign if we're supposed to move into this place. I had to hit my brakes on my bike. I'm on a bike path, and a giant horse trailer, large horse trailer, had pulled out in front of me and stopped, blocked my path, came right across the bike path. Now, I was living on Emerald Isle, North Carolina, a place without horses. And I was completely stopped by this giant trailer of horses. Of course, I get home, I tell this to Jessica, and she's like, every property around here is a horse ranch. It's surrounded by horses. I had my sign. I also like to look, I tend to have this little bit of Morse code with the universe, and you can have this too. 1 click means yes, 2 clicks means no. I was coming into the house after the dental visit and still dizzy, still gorky, and our car, Tessie the Rocket, has a beautiful yellow wrap on her that the wrap artist says, not the singing kind of wrap artist, but the kind who puts the shrinks wraps your car, says it needs more sunlight so that wrap permanently affixes to the car. And I was asking, do I take the car out for about half an hour before sunset and park it in the sun? And I was a little concerned about that because I'm a little dizzy and I wasn't sure how I was going to do backing it out. And my watch went, zzz, zzz. It was some sort of an alert on it. And that, zzz, zzz, that's strange as it sounds, that double buzz, to me, my code is One thing, yes, two, no. So if the house creaked once when I'm in the bedroom or studio, that means do something. If I get twice, it means don't do it. And so to me, I was like, okay, I'll listen to that, and I trust it. The more that you practice asking for signs and symbols and listening and watching in the natural world around you, the clearer the decision becomes to you. Also, in looking in the natural world, look at the birds, look at the different animals, see what the wind is doing. When we go hiking and I'm looking for a clear indication it's time to turn, I look for a puff of wind. And when I get that puff of wind, I know it's time to turn. There's so much more going on here than can possibly meet the eye. Few last ones, and then we're going to go into muscle testing for you. Work to cultivate. So that was 7 was realize there's more going on than meets the eye. Ask for symbols, ask for sign. 8, work to cultivate your intuition through skills like muscle testing, which I'll be going into more shortly. 9, ask for guidance in prayer. I cannot recommend this enough. For myself, I go to the archangels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel. Please help me with this decision. Please give me a clear sign and indication. Please make this ridiculously easy for me to see what the right decision is. And the mantra that I like to use is kind, gentle, easy, good. I don't want the decision to be made with, well, the briefest way to describe it is April 2nd, 2004, when I was praying and meditating for safety and guidance for an upcoming skate across the country. And after I got out, laced up my skates, went down the bike path. Father stepped out on a bike path, teaching his baby how to walk. I flew up in the air. I fell. I shattered everything. Well, not everything. I shattered a bunch of things and nearly died. I had guidance from the universe to stop me from doing my 4,000-mile, 40-day skate across the country. So now when I ask and pray for safety and guidance, I say, may I have the answer, kind, gentle, easy, good. Last but not least, and then we are going to jump into muscle testing. Sleep on it. Unless it's an emergency decision that needs to be made this second, or you have really clear indication, like in my case with the teeth earlier today, where choice C, mild sedation, get everything done at once, and my body just relaxed, and it was like, oh God, thank you. Unless you get that, oh God, thank you, sleep on it. Before you go to bed, ask for a sign, ask for a symbol, ask for a dream, ask for an indication, or to wake up with a clarity of mind of which way to go. From here, I want to talk about muscle testing, which is such a cool tool and a powerful tool in my life. With that said, I'm going to show you how to muscle test here. I want you to practice on small things first. I've been doing muscle testing 7, 8 years now, and I still find on the big decisions, it is easy to get confused if you're not really detaching yourself from the situation. The head or the ego or the small mind tries to get in the way. So when you start muscle testing, I recommend starting with small decisions. So I'm going to do a test with everybody here. We're going to take a look at the intuitive wisdom of the body. So what I want you to do is sit upright on a chair, preferably something that has a nice edge on it, so that you can get to the very front of your chair and kind of prop yourself precariously on the edge of the chair, not where you're going to fall off, don't want anybody getting hurt, but where you could end up balancing, easily leaning forward or back. From here, what I want you to do is think of your favorite food. So I want you to think of your favorite food. Imagine you're going out for your favorite food right now, or you have this amazing meal. Maybe it's sushi, maybe it's pasta, maybe it's an amazing vegan raw pizza, whatever it is. Imagine it right in front of you, or chocolate brownie, right in front of you. What does your body do? And chances are the body naturally leans in. You're going, of course it leans in. I'm hungry for that. That's the natural wisdom of the body. Now, I want you to take away your favorite food, and I want you to put, so please forgive me, a steaming pile of dog poo in front of you. And what does, or horse poop if you prefer, what does the body naturally do? It goes, oh, get me away from it. Get me as far away from this as I possibly can. That's the intuitive wisdom of the body, and we can basically bottle that. The body gets stronger, leans into, gets excited for something that's a positive. The body gets repulsed, gets weaker, gets revolted, or disgusted for that matter, when something is a negative. We're never stronger on the negative. We're always stronger on the positive. That's why using anger as an energy can be a very good temporary fuel source, but does not have sustainability to it. That's why things like revenge, getting even, I guess that's really the same thing. All of these type of things are a weakening rather than a strengthening. Love, the biggest strengthener of them all. So there are many different ways to do muscle testing. I will teach you my two favorite here. Actually, I'm going to really teach you my one favorite, but I'm going to show you a second one. And that is looping your thumb and your forefingers together to where they hook together in kind of like a infinity symbol or a figure 8, or like two links in a chain. And so you can practice. This takes practice. You can practice here with me. You can ask the body, show me a yes. And you want to try to keep your fingers together as tight as you can. Show me a yes. And they stay locked together, chances are, good and strong. Show me a no. And they seem to pull apart. There is a weakening right there. That is a no. Boink. Yes, no. I got distracted. We had a phone going on in the background there. So you can start to practice this. In the beginning, it's rather weak. It's tenuous. You can practice. I know the first day that I practiced, the first thing that I did is we went into the woods for a hike. And I said, okay, I'm going to play with this. And I started asking myself, where do I want to go? Where do I want to visit? And I said, do I want to visit Thailand? I get a lock. Do I want to visit Japan? I get a lock. Do I want to visit, I don't know. I don't want to pick on any particular place here. Istanbul. Well, not today for Istanbul. Do I want to go to Egypt and the pyramids? Yes. Do I want to go to France? Not today. And so I just started playing with it of where I want to go. Jessica and I went out to Thai food afterwards, takeout, parked the car. I stayed with the car and I watched the vehicles go by. And I said, would I like to have a Jeep? No. Would I like to have that Ferrari? Yes. A Tesla? Absolutely. Do I want to have the Corolla that went on by? No. Nothing wrong with any of the cars. I was just asking what the intuitive hit or wisdom of the body was telling me. I started practicing this every opportunity I could, particularly in the grocery store. And here's the key. I would respect the decisions that I was given. If I picked up can A or can B and I muscle tested and I got to go with B, even though I wanted A, I respected that decision. The more you respect your decisions, whether it comes from muscle testing or otherwise, the better your decision-making ability becomes. You are strengthening that muscle. So I recommend with muscle testing, start small. Do not do any big decisions. Practice, take action based on the decision. Should I get can A or can B? If it says B, go with B. And practice, practice, practice. You will be amazed. It spills over into all areas of your decision making. We are very unpracticed, particularly in the West, at trusting our own decisions. Why does a CEO become a great leader? Because he or she has made decision after decision after decision and become stronger and more confident in their decision-making ability. If there's one thing I want you to leave here with tonight, it's practice making decisions, particularly small ones first. Take action on those decisions, trust in them, and you will grow that muscle stronger too. So with that said, I'm going to open it up to questions. I want to check with Jessica if there's anything that she wanted to mention, to say, or to add otherwise, and then we are going to jump right into some beautiful questions here.
Nope. First question. Actually, there's a bunch of spam I'm trying to deal with. So Melissa says,
yes.
What do you think of a pendulum for direction? Is it the same as muscle testing?
I am so glad you asked that question, Melissa, because that was actually part of our path. We first went to going to a grocery store in Maui called Mana's, and we would hold cans or products up to ourselves and see which felt better than the other. The wild thing is Jessica and I always thought, always got the same decision, which was really, really cool. After that, we started going to a pendulum. A pendulum is a little crystal or stone, it can be almost anything, attached to a string that you can have dangle in front of you, and you can ask it to show, in my case, I asked it to show a yes, and yes would always be that leaning forward. It would move forward and back, and I would ask it to show a no, and it would swing to the sides. And so we used that, I think, for several years on this journey until we had a kind of house guest who would outstayed their welcome, is the best way to put it. And she grabbed the pendulum, and the pendulum broke and fell to the floor, which we also took as a sign it was time to let our dear guest go. But a pendulum is a great way to go. For us, it was a step. We went from holding things up to ourselves to the pendulum to muscle testing, so that no tool, no exterior tool was necessary. But it is a great, great, great way to go. Next question.
No questions yet.
Okay, we'll see what else we're going to talk about for a few minutes, and then we may let people go early because my teeth are doing a funky dance.
Hinckley writes, I thought it was the thumb and the pinky finger for muscle testing. It's the thumb and index finger?
There's no set rule, Hinckley. However, for myself and for those that I've taught, it's always been more effective with the thumb and the forefinger. It's a stronger lock than I can get. In fact, show me a yes. I can't actually get a strong enough lock. I don't have a strong enough pinky finger, Hinckley, to actually get that lock going. So I'm going to highly recommend, there are no rules, but I'm going to highly recommend go for the forefinger and the thumb. And wow, I do see a bunch of spam coming through. Who is the president of Zimbabwe? I am sorry, I do not know the answer to that question. Do we have any more questions at this point? If I scroll back, yeah. You want me to see if there's a question here? What are we looking at? Can muscle testing, oh, beautiful question from Lucy Harris. Can muscle testing reveal where you are blocked? Absolutely, Lucy. And muscle testing, I do a lot of emotion code type work. I have kind of my own system that I've developed over time to help guide us to blocks and woundings and things that get to be cleared. The body does know. So yes, you can ask yourself, is there a block? Is there a wound? Is there something that gets to be cleared? And the more that you practice with muscle testing, the easier it becomes to ask the right questions that kind of guide you to the answer. You can also do it over time via proxy for somebody else. So I could do muscle testing with Jessica to help find out where there's a block there as well. We have a brilliant friend of ours, David, is it Bergman? Kinesiologist? David Bergman?
No.
David, I am forgetting David's name at this point. We call him David. We see him all across the country. He's an amazing kinesiologist, which means he does muscle testing to listen to what the body has to tell him about where there is a block, a wound, a problem, an illness, something that gets to be cleared. And he actually uses mudras. So he might use a muscle test like this. He may also test by moving his fingers in different position and using another hand on kind of a wheel that if it skids along the wheel one way, that's a yes. If it locks, it's a no. I may have that backwards. And he can use that to intricately dive in and get exact answers from the body. And it is really, really cool. So brilliant question, Lucy. Let's see if we have another question here. Go ahead, Jessica.
Anna Sanson writes, I feel like I get a different answer when I ask the same question. Is it because I don't trust the first decision, or maybe I wasn't specific enough on my questions?
And I think I just saw an anti-Semitic comment come through, so I was a little bit sidetracked by that. So would you mind reading me Anna's question? She's saying that it can come up different answers twice with muscle
Yes,
testing.
exactly.
Anna, this is particularly in the beginning, this can happen a lot. And so it's something that you really get to practice with, and it's something that you don't want to, it's why you want to muscle test, Anna, on small decisions first. It is why that is so critically important. Now, I have found one technique that can help me get my ego out of the way. So particularly when it comes to big decisions or money decisions or a really important decision for the show, of which I won't just use muscle testing. Muscle testing becomes one piece of the total picture, but I'll actually put my hands behind my back so that it's kind of getting me out of the picture. I know if Jessica has a really big question, she'll ask me, she'll want me to just say, is it A, B, or C, and won't even tell me what the answer is, which usually, though, again, not always works. And I recommend when you're getting multiple answers, I would journal about it. I would go quiet about it. I would use these other techniques here and not trust muscle testing yet for that process.
All right. Next question is from Kim West.
Yes.
Who writes, Michael, what are your thoughts on muscle testing on behalf of someone else with their permission, such as long distance?
If you are practiced, and if you're not, you could do it for small decisions. If you're practiced, absolutely very, very powerful. I use muscle testing in almost everything that I do. If you're watching an interview, I have been muscle testing, my hands are down here. I've been muscle testing on what questions to ask. If I am coaching, I'm muscle testing both on where to go, what questions to ask, what's going on with a client, and I'm allowing that muscle testing to guide me along. Today, I had an amazing, amazing interview with Todd Herman talking about, it was pre-Novocaine, so please bear with me here. Todd Herman talking about not body language. Jessica, can you enlighten me here? I cannot believe my brain is fuzzy from before my interview. Todd Herman, his book.
Alter Ego.
Thank you. So I was talking with Todd Herman about the different masks or costumes that we wear, or the different egos that we wear, in a sense, to help us. Sort of like we gain strength if we think ourselves as Superman. We did that as a kid, or Wonder Woman for that matter. And if we think of ourselves as a loser, stupid, or otherwise, it weakens us. It was a brilliant, brilliant interview with Todd. And at the end of it, I was muscle testing. Do I ask him for a meditation at the end? And muscle testing saying no, and muscle testing saying no. And I was just, call myself greedy. The interview was so great. I wanted to ask, do you have time for a meditation? And sure enough, Todd Herman says, I'm sorry, I've got another interview coming up. This has been awesome. I've got to go. So muscle testing with Todd was spot on, even though I wanted to veto it. So brilliant, brilliant question. Who do we have next?
Let's see. Okay, Genevieve asked, what are some of your emotion code you use? I wasn't quite sure what she was asking, so I asked for some clarification.
Yep. And what did Genevieve write back?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
I thought maybe you might interpret it.
So, well, I use Dr. Bradley Nelson is the brilliant creator of emotion code and body code. I can't recommend it enough. I can't recommend it going to a certified practitioner of emotion code or body code enough. I use a similar version. Basically, I take anything that I get on the show and I tinker with it and I play with it and kind of make my own version of it. So I'm not a certified practitioner. I don't play one on TV, but I do a version of, I would say, the Michael code. I'm not sure what we give it for a title, using his emotion code and using prayer guidance and muscle testing to help me zero in on emotional blocks, on heart walls, on whatever needs to be cleared in an individual both getting guidance on where to go through muscle testing and also going to specific events. Traumas, for instance, is a great place to go to, and helping clear specifically through that event from people as well. I call that spot clearing. So those are the two methodologies that I use: going through a chart and going to a specific event or trauma in somebody's life and helping to clear it. Do we have a next question?
Our next question, I'm not quite sure how to interpret it either, but maybe you'll get it.
It's a fun evening.
From Lavi. Hi, Michael and Jessica. Do you have any advice on how to break past lives vows?
So, okay, I actually know what Lavi is talking about here.
Lives vows?
So, yeah, so promises or vows or things that were made in past lives. How do I basically renegotiate contracts?
Past lives. Oh, okay.
Yeah. How do I renegotiate contracts is what Lavi is asking about. And you can certainly do prayer on this. You can have ceremony on this. You can always go to assistance on this, a shaman, a spiritual guide, or practitioner. But I think you can just actually pray on this and ask for it to be let go, ask for it to be renegotiated, ask for a perfect example. I'm not going to go with past life vow. I'm going to go with a vow that I made as best as I can tell. And I have had past life regression on this, a vow that I made in a sense, or contract I made before I came into this world this time around. And basically, as the as the show goes, apparently before I came into this life, I said, I want some great learnings. I want some really big learnings this life. And I said to the spiritual elders, I said, please give me the works. And this actually came up in a past life regression. And they said, you're not ready for the works. We don't want to give you the works. And I said something to the effect of, give me all you've got. And Jessica and I did a chart maybe 5 years ago, maybe more recently than that, which showed that I had had 36 serious bodily injuries this lifetime. Hospitalization events, fractures, some illnesses, but really substantial traumas that took in place in my life that I'm sure were here to help guide me on my path. Now, after the last serious accident, I said, no more, universe, no more. I'm listening. I want to renegotiate this vow. So please, may I hear everything moving forward. May I get the lessons. Kind, gentle, easy, good, without the 2x4. I wrote about it. I asked about it. I prayed about it. And I'm convinced my prayers have been heard. I now get the messages in a much kinder, softer manner. So we get to become aware of what we have, if at all possible, and then we get to renegotiate it. Now, if you don't know what these, quote, vows are, because I believe we can start fresh each lifetime, look for what the repeating patterns are in your life and go after the pattern. You don't need to know where it came from. The fact that I had 36 accidents or injuries, I didn't need to know that it came from a vow made before this lifetime or anything of the sort. All I needed to know is I don't want this anymore. And you go to God, source, universe, inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, and say, I am willing to do things a different way. Please help me, and you can come with a place of humility. Please help guide me to learn these lessons in a much kinder fashion. So brilliant, brilliant, brilliant question.
Okay, our next question is from Hattershaw, who writes, thank you for your service. Do you teach how to clear blocks?
So that's a great question. We do teach some ways to clear blocks, not the emotion code specifically, but I do have other means for clearing blocks. We do teach that in our group coaching. I dive way, way, way into all of it in my one-on-one coaching as well. In fact, I've had people who then learn how to clear not just from themselves, but from their spouses, from their kids, because these blocks, you know you've got a block. When no matter how much you want to do something and you know how to do something, you can't get it done. So it's really important to address these things. So again, do that a bit in my group coaching, actually quite a bit in group coaching. Do that significantly in my one-on-one coaching as well. I'm having deja vu that question was asked on a live we did years and years ago in New Jersey.
Maybe. We did lives in New Jersey?
We did on Periscope a couple times.
Right,
and that
right.
question came up way back
Does Periscope even exist anymore?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway. Our next question is from Lisa.
Yes.
Since I've never done any of these testings and I've never really trusted myself in making decisions, will I have difficulty telling a responsive answer from a testing?
So that's a great question, Lisa. Just start small. Play with it. Decisions that have no that have no significance on your life. Do I go with the Great Northern Beans or do I go with pumpkin? And literally just make silly questions of yourself and start playing with this. It is learning a new skill, like learning to ride a bicycle. So the outcome, you don't need to have perfect answers at the beginning. Everything could be, quote, wrong, Lisa, but there is no wrong. You will be learning and growing from it. You've been disempowered. I'm going to call it a crime, Lisa, that at some point in your life, decisions were stripped away from you where if you made a, quote, wrong decision, you were punished, you got in trouble, you got ostracized for the tribe, you got ridiculed for it. And you learned to shut down and not trust yourself, because if you made a true decision, it would be painful, it would be dangerous. And so you were completely disempowered, Lisa. So I want you to take back your power, take back your authentic voice, take back your ability to make decisions by practicing and practicing and practicing more. The grocery store is my favorite place to practice. Your cupboard is another great place to practice. You can practice with your friends as well. You can practice just going down the street, in the subway, wherever it is, but then trust your decisions. Which is why I want you to start small. Start with very small decisions so that if you say, do I turn left at this block or do I turn left at the next block? That's a small decision, not a, do I buy this giant thing or that giant thing? Do I quit my job? Do I quit this relationship? No way. Start as small as you can and work to cultivate this skill. I saw a question on the mice that popped up. I am dying to know what that question is.
Came up first from
please.
Genevieve. My husband wants to know how you came up with your signature woohoo and what is the meaning of it.
That is a brilliant question, Genevieve. And I can't say that I know the answer to part A. Where did it come from? I know that before my most recent accidents, no. That's a great question. I don't believe before my first NDE, I had a woohoo. I know it existed before the second one. In fact, Jessica used to critique me, would that be the best way to describe it? All the time when I would spell it a way that you said was...
Oh yeah, you used to spell it like woohoo. I'll type it.
Okay, so I was woohooing for a long time before I met Jessica. My guess is it was after the first near-death experience, though I couldn't say for sure. To me, it's an expression of pure joy that bubbles up from the inside. I have had to work on, Jessica's the producer, and I say Jessica knows best, or Pookie knows best is what I like to say. I have had to work on getting the woohoos toned down a little bit on the show, because what happens is I get really excited about a guest answer. And to me, it's this punctuation mark in the universe. Somebody's saying something great. It's wonderful. It's incredible. And I just want to go, woohoo, that's the greatest thing in the world. And Jessica says, you're scaring away the viewers. And so I've worked to tone it down a little bit. But when something is really exciting and joyous and is just this heart expansive thing, I can't help, but it's an expression to me of pure joy of going, woohoo! And I can remember doing bike races this summer. I think some guys were suffering too much, and I'm going, woohoo! And they're like, no. But I was having such a pure, plugged into source, into God, into universe, into the joy that is in and out and throughout each one of us, that I can't help at times but just burst out in that woohoo. I think that covered that whole question. Great question, though. Thank you for asking.
Now, next question is from The Forge. What is the interview you did with a woman who told what you needed depending on what time you woke up at night.
A woman who told what you needed depending on what time you woke up at night.
I don't remember.
I don't recall this, The Forge. It may well exist, but I am sorry. I can't answer that question. You have stumped me on my own show.
Maybe it was a different show.
It may have been, or The Forge, when you find it, and I know it will come to you, please let me know what it is. Please, 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 please. All right, next question.
Okay, now on to the mice. Have the little mice been returned to their outdoor home? I think the last CJ interview I listened to, it sounded like they were in their final transition.
Okay, El Harbor, this is a brilliant question. And it doesn't have a simple answer. It has an answer of they have been returned and they have come back. And they have been returned and they have come back. And they have been returned and one at the moment is back. So we have two main contenders in the mice camp right now. And they're coming not a quarter mile.
Back because they have it really sweet here.
They do have it really sweet. They know I'm going to take care of them. They know I'm going to feed them. They know I'm going to water them. And they know they're going to get a warm place to sleep at night.
It's
and
like
so
Club Med.
It is. Although they don't get much light. They don't get much daylight. So,
well,
but
they were.
They were. So it's I don't know, somewhere between an eighth and maybe a sixth of a mile up a giant hill to get back to the house from where we are releasing them. We are not following the 2 mile rule at this point because the last time we did that was like a drive-by mousing. You know, we put them under a tree and we just drove out of there, you know. But we have two main mice contenders. We have one who goes by the name of Lucky. Why Lucky? He got his tail chopped off in a non-harm trap. I don't know how, but he survived. So we call him Lucky. And he's a bruiser. We put many mice together in a tank together, and it wasn't pretty. Lucky's a very, very strong mouse. Lesson learned. The second mouse we call Rocky, and Rocky is very proud and very confident with us. Not scared, is okay being pet a little bit as well. And really takes care of his home and makes this little nest. It's really cute. And Rocky came, so Lucky has come back at least 5 times in a row over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Lucky came back twice. He came back a few days ago, and I think he had gotten beaten up by Lucky, and he had a scar on his nose and a tiny bite in his tail. And we released him immediately again. And then he came back yesterday, still with that scuff on his nose and the injured tail. And so I've decided to keep him here for a few days until he heals up. He's in a beautiful fish tank with a nice bedding on it and great food, I'm guessing for a mouse, water, the works. But before we were keeping the tank in the studio where the kitties could watch the mice, and I felt that was probably just too much of a terror for the mice. And so now I have Rocky in the laundry room where he's not getting daylight. They can see in the dark, but he's getting lots of rest, I guess, but at least doesn't have a predator staring him down the whole time. So we will probably come up with a better solution in springtime. And I am starting to put more food down where I leave the mice to see if they want to stay down there as well rather than clamber back up to the house. Do we have any more questions here?
We have a couple. LaForge said she asked a question about dreams and animals. Okay, since the eclipse, I've had dreams with animals. What's that about? Gorilla, Camille, puppies, big dogs, little dogs, kittens, spiders, mites. What's up with that? What's a Camille?
I don't. Maybe she meant camel.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm going to guess.
I know a Camille.
We do. So the Forge, animals coming up in dreams is always significant. So first off, to me, it's universe trying to speak with you. And Janet, yes, we have done a show or two on dream interpretation, and I would like to get another guest on the show coming up on dream interpretation. Each animal has its own significance and preferably in context, but to me, it means universe is trying to speak with you. So what I would recommend the Forge is when you wake up with one of these dreams, write it down immediately and then continue writing without thought, without doing anything else, and say, what does this dream mean for me? What does this animal mean for me? And let the pen continue on the page. Chances are that first intuitive hit is spot on. Second thing, either get a dream dictionary like Dr. Michael Lennox's, Llewellyn's dream dictionary, or go online and start Googling what's the significance of that animal. Each animal has its own unique significance to it. Now, I believe in what Carl Jung said, which is also what the Ashawa are, a people, a tribe in the Ecuadorian, or I guess right on the edge of the Brazilian rainforest. They say, and Carl Jung says, the dream world is the waking world is the dream world, which means that animals that visit us in this world actually have as much significance in our dreams. If a butterfly visits you, if a deer visits you, if a snake visits you, they all have significance. So it's worth asking, why did this animal come to me? So the Forge, I would keep digging or dig deeper, or get the Llewellyn's guide by Dr. Michael Lennox and ask, what does each of these animals mean? And they do mean different things in different context as well, which is why you want to get down as much of that dream as you can right after you've experienced it. Do you have another question or two? And then the tooth is starting to blow its way out of my mouth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it feels joyous.
Celebratory?
Celebratory. My tooth is in celebration.
It's like
my tooth is going, woohoo! Inside right now. All right.
Okay. Lucy Harris asked, can you share your woohoo eights that you do in the morning?
That is a great question, Lucy Harris. I am a little bit fuzzy brained right now, so I am going to briefly express it or explain it, but I may not have all of the categories off the top of my head as I would like to. In fact, my guess is I do not have the categories. When I get up, I like to go to a gratitude prayer, really give thanks for, oh my God, it's a new day. Oh my God, I've got my health. Oh my God, I get to put my feet on the ground, or something like that. Wisdom tooth, back left, Anthony. From there, bottom. From there, I go into meditation. Then I go into some automatic writing. And then when I finish my automatic writing, while I'm still in this theta brainwave state, and I tend to listen to theta brain entrainment music, I will go through 8 different categories in my life of what I want to intend, what I want to manifest, what I want to give thanks for coming about. And those could be categories such as, and I tend to put them in terms of wealth. Because wealth is much more than financial abundance. So it could be health wealth. It could be family and friends wealth. It could be spiritual wealth. It could be time wealth. It could be psychological wealth. So mental and psychological wealth. It can certainly be financial wealth. It can also be creative wealth. And last would be wealth in my job, my profession, or my passion. I believe those are 8 categories right there. And I will spend a sentence or two. Actually, that's an understatement. Right now, I will write paragraphs on probably each of those, because I am feeling in a very powerful manifestation period of my life right now. And so I want to get things out with as much detail, with as much gratitude, with as much positive energy as I can. Now, there are no rules. People say, well, if you ask for it, that means you show a lack. I say hogwash. You have to ask about it as if it's already here. I like doing that, but I don't feel that's necessary. You need to ask about it with gratitude. Well, gratitude is a powerful emotion. Why not? There is no one way to write about it. And I like doing SOC, S-O-C, stream of consciousness. Let that pen flow. I'm so happy for our future baby, for baby Hannah coming into our lives, a baby who's so incredibly strong and kind and compassionate and sleeps through the night every night. I'm so happy for the incredible relationship I have with Jessica, and for her incredible health and my incredible health, and my knees growing stronger and stronger, and me running like the wind and running to the top of the mountains. And speaking of health, I'm so incredibly grateful for Sir Meowsers having another decade with us with total health. We love him, we love him, we love him. And Lumi coming out of his shell, and the love bug playing with her like crazy for decades to come, and the 3 of them playing like crazy, and an incredible dog coming into our lives. And how does it get any better than this? And I just go on and on and on in each of these categories, getting more and more excited as I go, because the true elixir of life is energy. the more energy you bring to anything, the more you will bring it about. And so you write about it with all the heart, all the joy, all the passion you can muster. It's why, if you're dwelling on the negative, link it to a positive. I'm so worried about my finances. I'm so worried about my finances. That is a strong emotion that can bring about something to worry about. Instead, I'm so worried about my finances, but I know they're going to improve. I've been working on my budget. I've been working on my job. I've been working on my plan. Or I know it's going to improve simply because I'm going to do manifestation work. I'm worried about the money. I'll do some more manifestation work. I'm worried about the money. I will do more manifestation work. Link that negative, that dwelling, as I like to call it, with a positive thought, emotion, action, or plan each and every time to help bring it about. I think I have time for one, maybe two more questions. Then I need to nurse this tooth before I'm coaching and take lots and lots of turmeric.
Okay. There are a bunch of questions. Okay.
Speed round.
Lisa asks, does the same apply to dreams about people?
Yes, the same. Well, we can't go into a dictionary and pull out the people in our lives. And it's often with the thinking mind, it's hard to determine if the person is the person. Did I make love to Jessica in the dream, or did I make love to an aspect of myself? Sounds a little bit strange, but what you want to do is write it down and immediately, do not pass go, do not collect $200, do not wake yourself up. Write out and what this feels to me, what I feel from this dream. It's more important than the specifics. What's the feeling behind this? This is going to tell you a lot. Sort of like learning how to make great decisions. Learning how to interpret your dreams is a process. Certainly you can go to, quote, experts, and they will have a lot to share. But you can actually get really, really good at understanding your dreams if you do it each and every time a dream comes up. In fact, I'll challenge and encourage you tonight to set an intention to remember your dream in the morning and write it down first thing. You can even keep a notepad or journal right by your bed. The more that you set intention to get to remember your dreams, and you can set intention for clarity with your dreams, the more guidance you're going to get from the inside. All right, give me another question or two really, really, really fast.
Okay, scrolling.
Probably one question.
Okay, Diana. She writes, Michael, do you or Jessica ever get lazy to get things done? I said, yes. If I don't have a strong why behind the task, then I get really, really lazy. And I say, Michael
doesn't really get lazy. Michael will, on the other hand, sometimes cherry pick. I may not choose the most difficult task if I'm feeling energy low or if my brain feels scrambled from all the work I've done, which is why I so strongly encourage front loading your day and front loading the most difficult things. And I may shift things around and have trouble getting to some of the most difficult ones later in the day if my brain is fried. But Jessica hit the nail on the head. I know my why. We both know our why, but I am so powerfully embedded in what I am doing in almost every area of my life that I am like, I want it bad. I want to get it done. I want this more than anything else in the world, to grow the show, to help other people, to run my mountains, to have this family, all of these pieces, that this drives me. And I have helped peel away a lot of layers of resistance in myself, of not trusting myself, of not believing I'm going in the right direction. Do I have lazy moments? I can be exhausted, and I know when I am exhausted and I am feeling like, oh God, I don't want to do this right now, Diana, I will actually step off of the gas and give myself a chance to regroup and recover, because I know that lack of chi, that lack of energy is actually here to guide me. Last question if we have, and if not, we'll call this good, and I am going to go nurse the tooth and do all I can for it.
Yes. Janet asks, wish I had that kind of time in the morning, 12-hour shifts. Ugh. What would you shorten it to if you had to? Most important part.
So Janet, what I would do is, and with 12-hour shifts, I'm guessing maybe you're a nurse and you have 3 days on and 4 days off. You might have to do it more on your days off than your days on. But, and it's something I was talking with Todd Herman about earlier today. There is no getting around meditation for all of us. If you're listening to this, you need to get a meditation in. You can start with 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I need to get you up over time to 20 minutes. If everything in your life is flipped upside down and backwards, at least get 10 minutes. The thing is, if you feel you don't have time to do this, you actually don't have time to not do it, because meditation and doing a bit of journaling and automatic writing and doing a little bit of intention work is going to save you so much time, help you to make good decisions, keep you from getting stuck, keep you from spinning your wheels, or keep you from getting in trouble because you were too much in autopilot and weren't awake and aware to make the valuable decisions that save you the most time. So it sounds like a tremendous sacrifice in the beginning, and it is. But even if you need to get up a little bit earlier, even if you need to sacrifice something, anything else in your life, find a way, kick, claw, scrape, almost steal, do whatever it takes to carve out a little bit of time each and every, and you owe it to yourself to live your greatest life, and putting that time in each and every day, finding a way, doing whatever it takes to find that time will help you to truly live. So with that said, I want to see if Jessica has any last words she wants to share. I'm getting on to the turmeric from here. I saw people were mentioning ibuprofen, other things. I try to go to things that were going to promote the most healing, which is why I tend to go to turmeric and things of that sort. Not that there's anything wrong with the other things. Clove oil, which somebody recommended, is a fantastic tool. But what I found with teeth for myself with clove oil is it has a boomerang effect. It will knock out the pain for a while, and then it actually comes back with more of a vengeance. Jessica, anything that you want to add, share otherwise? And I want everybody, please do us the biggest favor in the world. This is your show. This is our gift to you. Come on over to inspirenationshow.com and take the survey. Let us know what you want from us. We are here for you. You can consider us servants for you. We know if we want to succeed in all that we want to do in life, the more that we can help you, the more it helps us. So help us to help you. Come on over to inspirenationshow.com. Take the survey. Last thought, if you want to come support the show, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. We are 100% supported by you, our viewer and our listener. So come become a Backstage Pass member, become a part of the Inspire Nation family, and support the show. So, Jessica, any last thoughts, questions, or anything? And I see Samarado, a dental tech, saying she could make me a bridge, or he could make me a dridge. Woo! Dridge. I got to get my teeth. Thank you. Anything that you wanted to add?
LaForge is concerned that you need to go to the dentist.
Well, I just came from the dentist. I came from the dentist. They tried to pop out my tooth, and they couldn't get enough topical anesthesia. I can't even say it. And so they said whatever damage they did trying to pull it out was repairable, that my tooth would feel better in a few days, and that we would reconnoiter, something. I need to go get my tooth taken care of, or we would meet again in a few weeks, and they would take care of things with more of a sedative. So I send everybody all the love in the world. And yes, I will do healing work on it energetically tonight as well. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing the work. If there's one thing, you're listening to the show means you're taking steps forward. It means you're taking this all in. If I would give you one last challenge, one thing that drives me nuts in self-help is we can become self-help junkies and not actually step forward into our greatest selves. So please step forward. Please take steps toward helping yourself in this journey. Do the work. Last thing, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. We're probably a few weeks out on bookings. If you're willing to wait, we have, I believe it'll be a few weeks, probably some free one-on-one consults for coaching. Our coaching is booked now, I believe, till the end of February. It may be it's got to be into March at this point. So if you're looking for coaching with me in the future, now is the time to sign up for a free one-on-one session. The sooner you get in, the sooner I will be able to work with you as well. I send all my love your way. Above and beyond all else, shine bright. Shine bright. Woohoo! We love you guys. Take care.